yeah.
It's a three-way.
I've got earphones in, so we can't hear anything.
Oh.
Good effort, though.
Yeah, but the listeners don't know that.
Oh, yeah. That's true. He's gone
I don't
now.
know whether to even point at what I'm reading. So don't lose me spot. Anyway, yes, so welcome to the new, it hasn't got a name yet, but it's the Lay and Play podcast, I think it is.
Yeah.
Something like that. We'll come up with a jazzy name for it.
Something clever.
I'm Pete, I'm Pedro, I'm the guy who goes and on all the videos and then has to edit it, and Bains has to edit it about 1,000 times and it's terrible. And Bains is the guy who makes the videos good when he's making the videos good. Say hello, Bains.
Hello, Bains. You all right? Nice to meet you all.
So Bains hasn't got a clue what I planned for this, and that was always the intention. So I apologise to Bains initially for whatever nonsense unravels.
I've been preparing mentally all day for this, so yeah.
Yeah, and
nothing can shock me.
Yeah, and you're not even drinking, are you? You're on that,
no, I'm doing that one of those January fads where you're meant to be healthy.
These will get better. These will get better as soon as Bains is allowed to start drinking again. Is that from February the 1st, tell me?
Yeah, it's 3 months. It's 90 days. Anyway.
So yeah, it's an automotive podcast, yeah, because that's what we're an automotive brand, but it's loose. Yep. I don't want to end up just talking really boring. Are we allowed to swear? We're going to swear.
Yeah.
We're going to swear.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be really fucking boring. It probably will end up really fucking boring, but I don't want it to end up just talking about different wheel options and different makes and models. It's just there's so many podcasts that do that. So the intention is it's just going to be a bit of a fuck about, and if anybody else wants to get involved in it, they can phone in or they can call in and join in.
Phone in. You can send us a fax.
And then instead of Bains getting bullied, you can get bullied. So
I'm sure we're going to have people queuing up for miles just to be part of this.
I think they will. So there's a loose format which will end in me making a total dick of myself, which Bains is sort of aware of, but he doesn't know what it is completely yet. So
genuine reaction.
If you're just tuned in now and you're thinking, all right, this is fucking shit, I'm turning this off. At least skip to the end and listen to the end bit, because it's probably going to be the funniest bit.
Can I do that, please?
You're either going to laugh or soil yourself.
Let's hope it's the first.
So for example, each episode I'm going to ask Bains a surprise question. This is like the first format, and Bains' question, or Bains is going to ask me a question, or we'll ask each other a question, but it'll be the only thing that isn't automotive based, or well, it's probably not going to be the only thing that isn't automotive based, because we're probably going to end up asking each other what we've had for tea. But the first question is, and I've considered this a lot throughout my adult life, why can dogs and cats lick their own arseholes without getting sick? Whereas if I lick my own arsehole, I'm going to be in bed for a week spewing my guts up.
I'm more impressed you could lick your own arsehole, if I'm honest with you.
Well, if I could, it's just in theory.
Right, okay.
If I could, I would. I'd never leave the house. We wouldn't be doing this podcast.
And why would you want to, unless... I watched there was a TikTok video of a guy explaining why, I think it was Sikhs, or I can't remember, and they were basically wiping their arse. Yeah, he was wiping his arse, and he used peanut butter on his arm as an example. So he got a piece of paper and wiped this peanut butter off his arm, and he said, look, it just smears. And then he washed it under a tap, and that's why they use water instead of toilet paper to wipe their arse.
Every house should have a bidet. That is,
I don't know.
Maybe we should make that our tagline for these videos until... You know, like them protesters that have blocked all the motorways recently.
The dirty ones. Insulate Britain.
Yeah, B-Day Britain, that's what we're going to say. Until every house has got a B-Day, we're going to sit on the A500 and stop people from getting into Nantwich.
That seems to be that could work.
Anyway, Bains, so somehow your challenge is, before the end of this podcast,
go on, write it down.
Get the Google thing up. Why can dogs and cats lick their own? But somebody's asked it before, but you've got to answer that. Look at how much you're cringing. This is a powerful start, things.
You need to go on.
while Baines is screwing his mind over that nonsense, we're going to move on to some more car-related features.
Automotive stuff. I've written that down, by the way.
Stories, yeah? Stories. Everybody has car-related stories. Everybody's got stupid ones, crashing, parts, wheels falling off and racing past them on the motorway, general tomfuckery behind the wheel of your pride and joy, such as run-ins with the police, which we've all had from the day that we started driving, getting pulled over for the first time because we all looked 14. We would love to hear your stories on what chaos has happened to you.
I've got a good one.
Well, we'll get to that. I'm going to start with one of mine.
Yeah, cool.
My first lowrider, which was a 79 Olds Cutlass. So it's lowrider related, automotive, lowrider related. It's a double whammy. It was my first lowrider. I thought I was the dog's bollocks. I was visiting family. It was a cousin Andy, Robbie Savage. Another car nut. I remember this. I left his house in the Cutlass. And as you do, you know, it was an housing estate. I got in, zip, hit a few switches, bent a few corners, and then the next thing you know, there's an unmarked police car, probably a BMW 5 Series, with the blue lights flashing in the grille. You know the ones.
I've been pulled by one of them.
Yeah, so I think I just raced past him on 3 and pulled me over. And now, what a lot of Americans, if we get any watching this, fantastic, in California don't understand is that nobody knows what lowriders are in the UK. You get pulled over by the police. There's no book. There's no rules. There's no laws. They don't.
It's a real grey area, isn't it? In the UK?
So this copper, he got out. He was in fucking plain clothes, pretty much. Pulled me over and said, "What happened then? What were you doing? What was that?" And I just explained to him that the car has got hydraulic suspension, and I pressed the wrong button in trying to get the car level, and it made the car tip and one wheel come off the ground. And he sort of just shrugged his shoulders and said, "All right, just don't do it again." And then that was it.
That's amazing. That's the difference of who pulls you over. If someone's like pretty chilled out, you're gonna get away with it. But if it's someone who's like, they could throw the book at you, like you've had before when you went to Run to the Sun, freewheeling round the roundabout.
That's the next thing. That's it. I went to Run to the Sun. It was a few years later. Run to the Sun was like a big car show in the 90s and 90s. It was a Volkswagen show, and then it kind of merged into a hot rod show, and then it was all like customs.
Everything.
And then it was just mental. It was just loads of drugs being taken and stuff. And I'd gone there in a 190 that I had on hydraulics and met up with a guy who had a Regal on hydraulics. And the pair of us were three-wheeling around a roundabout outside the Sainsbury's that everybody met up to have beers and stuff. And again, plainclothes police, unmarked car, sat on the roundabout watching us doing it, followed us into the car park, pulled us over, told us to get... We both knew what was going on. We both slammed the cars so they couldn't get underneath them. Because again, I don't know if in America they have the same, but they have, is it the DVSA now? It used to be the DVLA. They'd send a van to come and have a look at your car to make sure that it was legal. And these coppers got me and this guy in the back of their car and started saying, right, and they got this book out, and mate, it was like the Bible, this book. Flicking through pages trying to find the rules on like one wheel off the ground and all that kind of stuff, dangerous driving. And they couldn't find anything, and the DVLA or whatever it was van that was inspecting vehicles was busy with somebody else, so they ended up letting us go. But
that's got to be the closest anyone in the UK has got to like having a car destroyed. Or
there's a code for it in there for dangerous driving in the UK. I can't remember what it's called. It's like a warning letter, like a notice you get. There's no point, there's no fine. Anyway, don't worry about that. Yes. So what was yours?
So I've never actually got pulled over in the lowrider. I kind of had a good run with it, but the two kind of fuck ups I had with it is one when I was driving to a stag doing it, and I looked over because it's obviously left-hand drive. I looked over my shoulder, but as I looked over, it kind of did that with the steering wheel. So then I mounted the curb and put a monster dent in one of my wire wheels, and I mounted the curb. And you think there's no giving that suspension anyway. Luckily, they didn't blow a tyre out. And anyway, we just ended up driving into the show. Yeah. But that was an easy fix because the wheels were painted. So it was just a case of heat up the steel rim, bang out the dent, and then repaint sort of thing. So that wasn't a too bad of an issue. And then the funniest one was, I think it was me, you, Matt, and Sol in the Lincoln. And we had the titanium scrape blocks on the back. And do you remember we were driving down the motorway or the slip road off the motorway, and we dumped it, and for some reason I hadn't connected up the disconnect in the boot, but it was arcing out on the frame. So I dropped the back end, dragging the blocks, and it was amazing because we were doing about 50 miles an hour and it scraped for ages, and I was like, went to put it back up, and because I've been scraping, the disconnect had jumped off and then broken the circuit. So then I couldn't put the back end up. So it was just dragging
down the motorway.
We dragged all the way to a stop on the side of a slip road. Yeah, that was pretty funny. That's probably like the most memorable sort of mishap I've had in lowriding, let's say.
Yeah, and can you imagine the stuff people have done that they could tell us about or come on here and tell us about it? And it's not just, it doesn't have to be lowrider stuff.
Yeah. There's just not any car story.
Yeah, that we want to wear the most chaotic nonsense.
I think I've heard stories of people gas hopping at like 60 mile an hour down the motorway, and you think how ropey it is gas hopping when the car's just sort of twitching and you're doing 60 mile an hour.
That on YouTube. So yeah,
good.
So if you've got any stories like that, let us know.
Love to hear it.
If you want to come on, if you've got some history, ideally, if you're coming on, prefer it to be lowrider people, and if you've got stories and you want us to read them out, then you can message us on whatever social media channels that we've got: Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, etc. So on the issue of guests, I've noticed that a lot of the UK automotive podcasts tend to just be like me and you, just two guys, or two or three guys that have got a common interest talking, and it gets real. No offense to those guys, like full respect, because they're all cool as fuck guys, and fair play for doing it. And I know it takes a lot of commitment, but it's fucking boring, man. It's just
they go. I think what it is they're clearly passionate about what they do, but they go nut and bolt deep with it. Whereas most of the people probably are into cars, don't go that far into cars, if you know what I mean. Like, they're talking specs and
you do. It's a very finite crowd of people who find interest in people's individual stories. So I imagine it's difficult to get the interesting stuff out of two guys telling the same stories all the time.
Oh, absolutely.
You've got to get that outside input of people who've got some history in it. I've never understood why you watch everybody else's channels and they don't get, like, you think about how long automotive customization has been going on in the UK for since cars started, and where's 50s. All the old boys telling the stories about like modifying like Morris Minors and it
must have happened. There must have been people who wanted the Moggy Minor, 1950s Moggy Minor, going faster. Like, it might have had 60 brake horsepower, they might have wanted 65 brake horsepower, and they've tuned the car or like
exactly.
They're out there.
I bought a set of tyres off eBay, and I can't remember where it was, but I went to go and pick them up. It wasn't that far. I think it was Staffordshire way. And I went to go and meet the guy, and he had a Ford Corsair. I think he had 2 Ford Corsairs or something like that, and a garage. It was just full of stuff, and he was just telling me stories, and I didn't want to leave. Like, he was just telling me all these things about the cars that he's owned, and those guys are interesting because anybody can go out and, again, no offense, anybody can go out and buy a Ford Fiesta and put a pop and bang map on it and turn up at the local cruise meet and rev the tits off it. It's as cool as it is for that moment. I want to hear about the shit that's gone on years ago that you can take inspiration from. Before
social media made it mainstream and everyone did the same thing. It must have been so much more unique.
Exactly, that shit's individual. Like Custom Car and Street Machine back in there, or even Max Power, it was individual because you didn't have one guy doing it and then everybody else being like, I'm gonna fucking do the same. Everybody going down Alphas and buying the same fucking thing, rip speed.
all on finance, and it was.
Mate, I love car culture for its entirety, but there's only so much one individual can do before it becomes the same shit. Even in low riding, I will put 13s on every car that I own. And that's boring, really. I should do something and put the Supremes on it. I should do something and change it up. Put some
5 spokes.
Exactly, mix it up. So anyway, it's divulge. I can't remember the fucking word. But anyway, we would like to get other people on this podcast. I'm sure we'll get other lowrider people from our own car club and stuff coming in, and we'll give you them the same sort of questions. But now. We need a bit of a fucking jingle for this. I'm sure Bains will come up with.
Okay, if you're quiet for 2 seconds. If you're quiet for 2 seconds. Yeah.
What a jingle! I've never heard that one before. My God.
Unique, that is.
So anyway, Bains, as it's just me and you today, I'm going to hit you with some example questions for you to smash back at me like
Quickfire
tennis superstar Novak Djokovic, and that's topical because he's currently stuck in an Australian airport like a modern-day take on the biopic film The Terminal with Tom Hanks or some shit.
Not like you scripted that.
Well, I worked on that. That was, when you type in and your brain switches off and the words flow.
Yeah, it doesn't happen very often to me.
No. All right.
Carry on. Proceed.
So anyway, Bains, tell me a bit about yourself. Age, sex, location. No, I'm only joking. How did you get into low riding? What is your history?
So my history began with you, sort of like, I think you saw my videos because I used to film mountain biking, and then the guys I went mountain biking with went to car shows, and then I just started filming car shows, and you were like, hang on a minute, we want that in the lowrider world. It's miles cooler than the Volkswagen scene. So I went along just on a bit of a whim after you asked me to come along, and I just was it? Yeah, it was. And it just consumed me. I was just like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. And I think you just sort of get carried away in the Volkswagen scene with, like you said, doing the same thing as everyone else. So you put I was into the water-cooled Golf, Smart 4 Golfs. So it was like big 19-inch wheels, brakes, R32 kit, something like that. And then with the lowriders, it was just like, I hadn't really seen like a G-body before or just anything like an Impala. And when you see them for the first time, you're like, what is that? And it just consumed me.
I think it's the fact that it's the big fish, small pond mentality, isn't it? Mm-hmm. It's easy to stand out in lowriding, where it's hard to stand out in scenes or communities like the Volkswagen scene, etc. Everything's been done before. Whereas in lowriding, you can still buy a make or model car, either European, Japanese, or American, and nobody's done that before. No. That's what's cool.
Yeah, like I said, it's been unique, and I think that's what differentiates people today.
Yeah, defo. So, why low riding? Why not street racing, street rods, or hot men?
Well,
it could have been any of the above. Let's face it.
I think I got going fast out my system when I was young. Do you know, like when you first pass your test and you're like, you could do all the things that your parents would never do in a car? Like going fast, speeding. Just doing stupid stuff, getting pulled over by the police for going too fast or racing. So I got that out of my system pretty quick. And I think there's nothing better than like a real clean classic car, just dropped quite low, rolling through. I just love that. I love the feeling, and it's not about going fast anymore. It is about sort of just having a sick car without having a sick car at the minute. I'm working on that though.
Lovely. Final question before the quickfire round. Is your skin actually see-through like a jellyfish, or are you just incredibly pale?
No, I actually reflect the sunlight, so it's actually slightly opaque, but with a hint of magenta. So what you do see is actually a hologram of my actual form. Yeah.
Okay, that's put a line through that one. Thank you. No, so now on to the quickfire round. Again, we're just spitballing here. This doesn't have to be the format that we use on our guests. I imagine that a lot of people who are watching this think, I'm not fucking going on this. Show some courage Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I will.
Quickfire round. You ready? So all I want is one of the two options. No so's, maybes.
Okay.
Okay. So 13s or 14s.
13.
Wire wheels or Supremes.
Wire.
Hydraulics or air.
Hydraulics.
50s or 60s.
50s.
V8 Burble or Barry White singing "You're the First, the Last, and My Everything."
Barry singing.
That's nice. It's a quick fire round completed.
That was quick.
Now,
that was
yeah.
very
well, I
quick.
don't fuck about things.
No, you don't. Evidently so.
Yeah. If you could wake up with any kind of car on your driveway, show ready, just jump in, turn the key, and hit a switch, what would it be? And you can give details on what wheels, what engine, what fucking paint.
Right.
Go.
1953 Chevy 3100, probably V8, but not fussy with a modern engine, just for daily driver duties. 72 spoke wire wheels, a nice gravity fed 2-pump lay and play kit. Oh, custom. I'm not going to give too much away because this is stuff I'm actually going to do. It's just time and money. But I'd probably go black paint, lots of chrome, lots of flake, and the Fulton visor on the front for that.
Wow. All the trim. All right.
Yeah.
Lovely.
I'm not thought about it much, so.
Basically, I bought you. Didn't I give you?
Don't say you bought the truck.
No, I bought you the little toy one, the Hot Wheels.
I've got that at home.
Exactly
I've got that at my house. Pretty much that.
Finally, I've got some questions for you from our new right-hand man, Pointy. Are you happy to answer some questions from Pointy?
Yeah, let's go for it, yeah.
Yeah, damn straight and all. Okay, so Pointy asks, what was the first car you bought for yourself? So don't include a car that might have been bought for you or handed down by your parents. Mm-hmm. What did you go out and purposely buy with your own money, you bastard?
So, never had a car bought for me, but the first car I bought was a £600. So I passed my driving test and then I couldn't afford a car. So it was about 6 months before I saved up 600. I used to spend money as soon as I earned it. So 600 quid Ford Fiesta, 1.25, no electric windows, no power steering, no central locking, tape player. And yeah, had that for about 6 months.
Nice. Okay, I appreciate it.
Nice. Thank you.
Next, he asks, burrito, quesadilla, tacos, or tortillas?
Burrito. All day burrito.
Okay, so just trying to stick with a lowrider thing, Mexican.
Bit of Mexican, yeah, Mexican flavour.
He asks, now this might be a little bit cold-blooded, but Pointy doesn't give a fuck. He's cold-blooded.
Savage.
He says, how long? He says,
about 6
how long has it been since you sold the Lincoln, and when do you envisage being back behind the wheel of something significantly less boring and reliable as a Ford Focus?
Ooh, well done for remembering my car. So I sold the Lincoln about 2 years ago, basically to free up some money to buy a house, do house up, all that sort of grown-up stuff. Since then, started my own business, which obviously is investment of time and my own money. And I reckon in the next 18 months or so, have a project and do all we said before. Maybe. Who knows?
Oh, that went a little bit deep then.
Yeah.
That went deep. A point is drying his eyes.
Look at that. Number one.
Yeah. Finally, and this is the question that everybody has been waiting for an answer for.
Go on.
Why can cats and dogs lick their own asses without getting sick, but I can't?
First off, cats lick all private parts, genital area, anus, for grooming and irritation. I thought I said irrigation. Irritation. Your cat keeps its buttocks clean as a matter of survival. Imagine that, having to survive licking your own arsehole. Well, I used to work with people who did it for other people. Apparently so.
No way.
Well, I used to work with people who used to lick other people's arseholes. So it was not. But you know that person at work who's just always brown nosing someone. Yeah, there's a lot of them.
Yeah. I get it. Just to clarify, me and you have never worked together. Other than this.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Me and Peter have never worked together on any form of job.
Yeah, scripted. So, thank you, Bains. Who said Lowrider, an automotive podcast, couldn't provide everyday useful information for its listeners? Okay.
Me.
So this is so scripted. Okay, so I think that brings this episode to a close. I don't know about you, but I hope it's the worst one we ever do.
I think this is going to be the best one because we're going to look back on this and piss ourselves in about 2 years.
But wait!
There's more!
I've got to do the thing that I said I was going to do at the start that I've told everybody to stay tuned for.
I want to live stream this.
Oh, this meeting has been upgraded by the host and now includes unlimited minutes. Is that right?
No, I didn't get that info.
Oh, well. Carry on. If you're paying for it, you're paying for it. So, are you ready for this, Bains?
Born ready. Let me relax.
Let me just check. Am I doing it with the mic?
Yeah, you've got the gravitas with that. Everyone looks at you. And you can do a mic drop at the end if it's good.
I've turned you off so I can't watch your reaction. Okay, ready?
I'm born ready, man.
Ready. If this doesn't go well, because I don't get the lyrics right, we'll do it again. And you can edit it how you wish. You can leave the shit one and I don't give a fuck. Right.
Oh, yeah.
What?
Say my name. Here we go.
Hey, yo, this is the Lay and Play Show coming live on YouTube. Let your moms know we got Bains and Pedro. Kick it to a mix of automotive chat. So come and get your face, grab a beer and a bag of snacks. Find a comfy chair and pop a hand in your slacks. You can listen and watch along. Drop a message in the chat if you think I'm back to wrong. We got tech, stories, pills, and news. And if we get lucky, maybe even interviews. So thank you for tuning in. This was episode 1, and we'll see you in a minute. Oh!
Genuinely, that's not bad for you. No, I like it. I like it. Maybe a bit of finessing.
Well,
let's get some fire in a booth. Get you in a studio.
Yeah, man. I reckon I could outgrow the podcast
with your lyrical talents.
Yeah, man, I could be some cool motherfucker.
You are a cool motherfucker.
This video, by the way, was sponsored by Snoopy and Charlie Brown, the movie Sippy Cup.
It's better than a princess cup.
So anyway, yeah, that's it. I think that went all right.
Passed it. Thank you for listening, everyone. If you want to be on the show, I'm sure Pete will entertain it. And let's just go for that. Let's get people in.
Lurpak just got a free advert on.
If you'd like to sponsor the show, please drop in the sponsorship form after the event. Thank you.
I think Lurpak's a suitable sponsor for this, isn't it? Butter!
We'll slide away.
Yeah. I think that went all right. If you can edit this, should we just say bye to everyone and then we'll end this and then you can edit it bye. So,
yeah.
Okay. So, thank you very much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed at least some of it. And like I say, it can only get better for me. Surely can only get better.
You've got to start somewhere, haven't you?
Yeah. So, should we say peace? Peace. At the same time. 1, 2, 3.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace.